Hey everybody, welcome back to the Print 3D channel. Today is August 2nd, and that means day 214 of the 3DP 365 project. And on today's episode, we printed out this very cool SD Card Spinneroo. So stick around. Hey everybody, welcome back, and thank you for joining me here for day 214 of the 3DP 365 project. As always, down in the description there's a fact section. There's also the MatterHackers affiliate link. If you're in the market for some new filament, just use that MatterHackers affiliate link and you really help out the channel. On today's episode, we printed out this very cool SD Card Spinneroo, and our print turned out awesome. This is a very cool design. The principle behind it is you put all your little SD cards in these slots, and you turn this top piece to slowly raise them up so you can grab them out of there. This is a very, very cool storage idea. I love this design. If I had more SD cards, I totally would have filled this thing up. And it's super mesmerizing. I see why they called it the Spinneroo, because it's kind of like a fidget spinner. You just want to turn this thing forever and watch all your little SD cards rise up and fall. And we downloaded this from PinShape, and it comes in 3 parts. And we used 2 different colors of MatterHackers PRO PLA filament. We use some of this jet gray for the top part, and we use purple for the little bolt and for the bottom piece. And like I said, we downloaded these from PinShape, and once we had them downloaded, we sent them over to Simplify3D and we separated them into 2 different build plates because I wanted to do variable settings wizard on this top piece because there's a lot of involved geometry in there. And if I take this piece out while I talk, I'll tell you more about that geometry. And once we had it downloaded, like I said, and sent over to Simplify3D and divided up into 2 build plates, we set our settings at 0.2mm layer height with 4 top layers and 4 bottom layers and 3 perimeters. We also used only 20% infill on this print on all 3 models, and we ran these out at 40mm per second, and as you can see, all the little SD cards have spilled out. But the interior of this piece is the reason why I did multiple processes or used the variable settings wizard. And the reason why I did that is because there is a ton of retraction going on in here. And I also used the gap fill function to really clean up the top piece, because when I first sliced it without gap fill and perimeters only, there was a lot of holes in there. So the gap fill function is super handy because it really cleaned up the top of this. But I didn't want to run gap fill throughout the entire print. Maybe a little bit at the top of it at the end of the print, but only at the beginning just to make sure that my top layers, because this print's flat like this, top side down, I wanted to make sure they were all filled in. So I set my first process to stop at 5mm, and then from 5 to 18mm, we ran with no gap fill, perimeters only. And then for 18mm for the rest of the model, we used gap fill again. And this print took about 7 hours, and this was the longest of the 3 pieces. The other 2 parts, excuse me while I dump out all my SD cards, these only took about 2 hours to print, and these were easy prints. And you can see inside that there's 2 little ramps that raise up the SD card, and then they drop down and hide away back in the print. So this is a very, very cool model, and I really love this design. And the MatterHackers PRO PLA in purple and jet gray really do look cool on this. And my gMax did a stellar job on this top piece. I mean, there's a little bit of stringing in the inside of the slots, but it'll help keep the SD cards from falling out, so I'm not even going to bother cleaning it up. But the rest of these 2 prints, or 3 prints I should say, look amazing. These are very, very clean prints. There's no blobs, there's no globs, there's no layer skips, there's no layer shifts, and there's no sign of under extrusion, which is really great. So I've been testing Simplify3D version 4.0 now for a couple of weeks, and I think that there has been no changes in the way it actually prints your models. It's just in the underneath the hood settings. So my prints are turning out actually a little bit better than they did with the previous version of Simplify3D. I think they actually look a lot cleaner. So this is a very good improvement on the software because my prints look awesome and I'm really happy with the results. And of course these 2 pieces were the purple pieces were printed separately but on the same build plate. And I didn't clean up the bolt whatsoever. And it threads in here perfectly. I mean, look at that. That is a great, great thread design in there. And the tolerances, of course, on my gMax are great because this spins perfectly. And if we put just a couple of SD cards in these little slots, and you should really put them in with the reader part down because you don't want to expose the reader part to the elements, I should say, so they're protected. But it does such a good job of just rolling underneath them. It's nice and smooth. It's a really good Really good design because now you can access one card at a time and just pull it out and then just put it back in. And when you turn it, it kind of locks in place because you won't be able to go the other way. So this is a very cool design. And I'll definitely put the link down in the description so you guys can download and print this yourself. And of all the SD card little holders, I think this is probably the coolest one I've ever printed. Well, that about wraps it up for day 214 of the 3DP 365 project. I hope you guys found this episode interesting and informative. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, comment, like, and share those videos, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.